Hi, this is Hi Bob Poor Bob, and we're about to play some Ultimate General Civil War.
Hello, and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing the opening portion for Saunders Farm. So what we're doing today is looking over our army real quick, and then we will jump into the battle. I'm not going to be doing separate camp videos for a lot of these battles, just because we've done so many of them, and they should be pretty familiar by now. As you can see, we've moved pretty much all of our 2-star generals into this first corps, and they all pretty much have the same stats. The units do. Then we have our second corps here, which is first corps, and these guys are all just a tiny bit worse than the others. We've moved a lot of the generals out of this corps to go ahead and get them into the battle here. We took all the best brigadier generals we have and threw them in. You can see that almost all these guys have the same stats. And then we have some of our melee cav. I was thinking about bringing it into this battle. It just ends up that it does not work very well up north like I thought it would for the ambush force. This is our main fighting force. Well, our first portion of our fighting force. It consists of 6 units of snipers, 2 units of 20-pound parrots, and all the rest is infantry. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 is 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 units of infantry here. And then we move on to our third corps, which is our reinforcing corps. All we have in there is 2 20-pound parrots and 8 infantry. And then we have whatever's left over, mostly 24-pound howitzers and 10-pounder parrots that we just don't have any real need for right now, and our rifle cav is there. So let's just jump right into it here. We of course are going to put that main corps into there, and our second corps, our third corps into there. We're bringing 62,380 and 52 guns. They're bringing 56,325 and 151 guns. So we will have to be proactive about their guns, to say the least. We're going to move, it's 7 snipers. 7 snipers, 2 artillery, 15 infantry, and 2 supply wagons. Okay. They say this is a good place to deploy your forces. I don't think so. I think we're going to deploy somewhere else. So we're going to advance, but we're going to advance this way, not straight up the center. So we're going to bring all of our snipers around the side here, along with all of our infantry. I think maybe we'll move some guys this way. I'll be back whenever I have it all set up and ready. So yeah, this setup is quite a bit different than what I was looking at there. I had to go back and think about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to like do this differently. So we take our snipers, and I think we also went ahead and pulled extra snipers from further back in the lineup. So we have 4 snipers on this side and 2 snipers on the other side, bringing us to a total of 6 snipers in this starting group, instead of just like the 4 snipers total that we had in the starting group before. We do still have 1 sniper that will spawn in later, but that's fine. We don't need him right now. Go ahead and get all of our stuff moving there. So we use the general to attract some of their attention, because that's what generals are good at, is attracting attention and just overall, being able to tank some hits from some artillery and things like that, and gets them to kind of collapse in on the center there, which is really good for us. Trying to get the lines drawn right. it can make a big difference in how fast your units move if you get the lines drawn in the right places. It seems like they pretty much take how fast they're going to move based on where the line is, not based on the men walking through other things if you draw it. If you just click, then it's like whatever part of the unit's in the slowest territory, that's how fast they go. So it seems like drawing lines tends to make them move faster, especially if you're careful about it and make sure and move them through the best terrain possible. I'm not 100% certain on exactly how much of a difference it makes, but it does feel like it is substantial. So we make sure and get our guy seen there. He starts getting hit by artillery. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. It gets them to concentrate on him rather than concentrating on everything else, which is perfect. We need that. So we're going to try to get everybody across here, including our infantry. Obviously, our infantry is getting a little bit tired at this point, but we just have to keep pushing. We can't let up now. We got to move a little bit further back because they have infantry that walk across there, so you cannot go too far forward there or they will get engaged in a fight that is not good for a bunch of snipers to get into, because snipers tend to not be real great against, infantry. At least not sometimes. Okay, so we're able to pretty much get our men across the river there. These next guys are also going up to the north as well. We're trying to get them kind of separated out from each other just a little bit, just because there's just too many men in there to start off with. Okay, there we go. Just making sure everybody has pretty much a way to go at this point, because we don't want anybody not walking, obviously. That would be bad. We want everybody to move around and do things. So we go ahead and pull Hill back. Part of the goal was to actually get guys to come down here, but I don't think this time it happens. But it would be nice to get them to do it if we could. There, we're just using a little trick to get them to separate from each other. That's all we're doing there. It's not really that we're trying to get them to move faster. It's just that we really want them to not be walking on top of each other, because it takes up way more time if they do. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stop that guy just for a second, just to let the other guy get ahead. We get across the river, so we're in good position here. And we want to get all the way up there before the next group spawns in, so they can get a little bit of a rest before the infantry spawn in. We are looking to kill off the majority of their artillery before that happens. We are seen there, which is a little bit problematic. It's a little scary, but we'll make it work. We're going down the side of this with that skirmisher just to make sure that there's nobody there that's going to sneak up behind us too quickly. Of course, the problem is that you don't get very good vision there. And see, they're moving south probably because they can see something down there, which is great. That's exactly what we wanted. We want them to not want to engage our forces. So here we see one moving back this way. We don't really want to engage that guy, I don't think. But we might engage him anyway, just for a second there. So we're keeping the general on the outside of our units, so that if we start to get attacked, he'll be the first one attacked. Of course, he also has really bad stats for ooh, look, they just turned away and ran away. That's good. I was a little worried there that it was going to be a restart, basically. Not going to lie. We want that guy to come down towards the end there. And yes, we're cheating again just because it takes forever to get up this hill. And we want to be up the hill by the time they get here, because it would be really bad if they weren't. So now we need these guys to get there. They have to get there fast enough to be in position to actually put a threat, make a threat for the enemy. Okay, now we know that nobody's pretty much coming, so we're good there. We want to have the guy that holds the end, and we want to be ready for when all the there's going to be a ton of artillery that spawns in right here. And we don't want to engage those with the infantry. We want the infantry to pretty much move past them and get ready for the infantry that spawns in shortly, because the infantry is the problem. We are drawing the lines the wrong way. We want these guys to go north, not to wrap around there, so we have to redraw the lines once I remember that I was doing it the wrong way. We do want like one unit to go that way, but not very many. Moving forward there. Going to have them hold position, both of them, just to regain as much stamina as possible. We need that guy to run to get over to where he needs to be in time. And there comes all of the artillery. We're able to get several shots right off the bat on a lot of those units, which is good. We need these guys to be in position as well soon, because it's not long before the infantry starts spawning in now. We need to be ready for that. So we need to get our snipers out of the way so that they don't start taking shots from them. We need to make sure and keep their artillery routing, because we do not want their artillery to unload on our skirmishers from point blank range like this, because that would be painful too. Problem is, of course, that they walk all over each other and do all kinds of crazy things, and it's not exactly what we want. But we need them to be there to help stop the infantry from beating up our infantry. The snipers will help a lot with that. Okay, so the first guy goes to the corner and in. Next guy goes there. That guy goes there. And at that point, we pretty much have everybody going to the positions we're going to want them. Obviously, we'll have to tweak them once they get there a little bit, but it's mostly where we want them. They start sending snipers or skirmishers up behind us, and so we need to get ready for that by moving a couple of our own snipers to catch them while they're still in the water. At least one sniper, okay. So we do send just one sniper. Hopefully he will be able to stop them fast enough. We want to get on the flank of some of these guys so that we can get shots on them before they get turned. They are charging, which is perfect, because that means that we're going to have plenty of time to beat them up before they engage us. Okay, so we're backing off here because we do not want to take this shot, really. Yeah, there we go. We don't want to take that shot. So we did take a shot there a little bit. It's fine. Not really what I wanted to do, but we've wiped out most of their artillery at this point. And you can see that most of their units are not moving far enough forward to actually get shots on my infantry now. And now we can start hitting them with our snipers from range here. We're going to try to capture that supply wagon. They go ahead and start trying to turn, but I think it's too late. We've already got a good shot coming in on them here in a second. But they'll probably still get a volley off, I think, which isn't the greatest, but we've got okay cover there. And they're pretty much just in a field, and we've got some trees there and stuff, so we should be able to pretty easily get them. And since they're turning, oftentimes they'll turn far enough that then our units out in front can hit them as well, which will obviously be better for us than for them. Okay. Slowly, slowly, slowly working our way. Should probably tell the unit on the end there to fire at the one that's facing the end. The second unit in the bottom here should fire at the one that's facing the end, so that then the end one could move in easier. But instead we're firing at the other one, but it's already flashing and not putting out full volleys, so I guess it works. If we had left one of our snipers at the end here, we could have gotten shots easier. The problem with that is that it really takes almost everybody just to kill off the artillery before it becomes a problem. So it's hard to warrant leaving a sniper out there at that time. I'm really worried there that he was going to route out, but he didn't. So that is fine. We did have a sniper come out after us there, which is fine. We will turn around and unload on him from behind and in front and every which way, and we should be good to go there. We're going to swing our snipers around there, and we should be able to get a pretty good... We should be able to route them pretty quick here. Yep, there we go. Do another 50, 60 casualties to them. That's what we want to see. And we'll move off our guys at that point. Here, it's cavalry that spawns in first. So we want to be within range to shoot them right off the bat, because cav tends to be a little bit more squirrely than infantry does. So we are going to take some hits basically on purpose because of that, but it'll be fine. We went ahead and told some of our units not to fire up there, and the reason for that is so that we can regain stamina. The reason for the guys in the trees there is because we want to make sure and have some units in position to keep them from coming up behind us. They will try to cross that river sometimes, and those units there will stop them from getting across the river with anything but maybe snipers. Probably not even snipers if we can. We're going to try to stop them from being able to do that. Of course, doesn't always work out, but we're going to try. We're just trying to regain as much stamina as possible with these guys, because we're going to want to charge them at some point. And the easiest way to do that is to have them hold position, fire with their skirmishers, and hopefully the skirmishers can keep them routing, while at the same time the snipers will also be able to help with that, because obviously the snipers aren't going to charge in at the end. Probably need to have my supply wagon moving around a little bit more to make sure that everybody's got ammo. But, oh, there he is. He's moving around there, so it's fine. We're just trying to make sure that we stay in range. We don't want to let them route into a position where we can't hit them. Obviously, that would be bad. We don't want to allow them to... They might have... Do they have a unit of artillery in there still? I don't even know. They might still have a unit of artillery in there too. We got to be careful, because they will have units of infantry spawn in as well up here. I think I went and checked to see exactly where they spawn in to make sure I'm in the right spot. That little blip that you saw there. So now they are going to start spawning in soon. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move forward just a bit here, just to start narrowing down the area in which they can concentrate. We're unable to get shots through that unit now that it's no longer touching anybody, and I'm worried that some of those units are going to start regaining condition and morale. So we need to find a way to push them back a little bit, trying to get shots on them. But they still won't. They just won't move backwards. They just keep fighting right there. There's the cav that spawns in. Obviously, this could have gone a little bit better than it did. It's not exactly what we wanted to have happen. But then we go ahead and get it turned around and get into a good position to hold them back, hopefully. And I don't remember if it does or not. But we probably should have like double stacked the end there a little bit better. Okay, so a couple other units are starting to fire just a little bit, and that has me worried a bit. We're already at like 93% on the condition with that guy, so I'm not nearly as worried. Of course, there's still that one unit in there that definitely is not routing right now, which is a problem. I think they're going to get a shot off on me. That 3-star back there. Maybe they won't. Maybe we'll get a good... But I'm not even telling them to volley. What happens? I can't remember. Oh, they don't have a volley left in them. That's nice of them to not do that to us. That was painful a little bit, but we are, moving in there, getting a good position on them. We got to worry about units doing whatever up here as well. We don't want this guy to get into melee. We kind of want to see where they're going to go. Well, they went through that way, so we should have been over there. And, of course, we don't have anybody over there to stop them from going that way. We're just moving. Okay, one unit goes the other way. That's fun. Like, no matter what we do, somebody gets away, it seems like. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. So here, we've captured one and basically kept any of the others from being a active part of anything. So that works out really well. We could move maybe one of those 2 units. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I can't remember exactly where they spawn in. They might spawn in like basically right on top of that guy at this point. And obviously, we let our units get a little bit out of whack with that cavalry. Should have been just a little bit more careful with them. Kept them in a little bit better position, probably. Could have. So now I got to a point where I thought I could cut them off. And they capture their supply wagon back, and we're about to fire at it, and I'm like, no, stop doing that. And they fire at it anyway, which is great. Just great. I've got my supply wagon kind of in a danger area as well. We are able to pretty well... I don't remember how this goes. I really don't. We need to move, guys over this way to cover their path that way. We're basically just trying to move up slowly, find out where we can get seen, and stay back from those areas where we get seen. We don't want to be seen yet. We basically just want to get vision on them. Here we go. That's the sign that they're starting to move in now. So we need to get everybody in position. We still have not gotten that guy locked down, which is definitely my fault. I should have been more careful about that. And of course, they've got a unit. That's going to be annoying. So we could have moved further forward with the sides there, it looks like. We are firing on them pretty much everywhere. Yep, the side could have moved in further. Probably don't want to hold quite so close to them with the other unit either, just because we are kind of in a bad spot there. Still have 1,000 men out there. We have a unit that almost got recaptured there. It's just kind of a mess, not gonna lie. Like, it's really difficult whenever they just route through you like this. And I feel a good portion of that is just seems like no matter what you do, they route through you whenever you have a lot of units on the field that you have not damaged much yet. And we have a lot of units still left on the field that we haven't done a lot to in the center there. So we have to be careful about that. We need to have a unit held back in reserve, and we don't for up north, because they're liable to route across the north edge. That last unit needs to be up to keep them from routing across the top. But I didn't even tell them to move that way. I told them to move, basically just to the east, and see, now that unit's going to want to route that way. It's part of the thing that you just have to do here. You just have to, I don't know how I'm not seeing it. Like, yeah, they might not route through them, but I could have stopped that by just having that unit move to the north in behind that other unit. Most likely, see, now we've got to do all these things. Oh, so we did have a unit back there. We just hadn't had him move forward far enough. So that was all my fault. Multiple different ways there. We lose a lot of men up here trying to hold against these guys because we don't have the greatest cover. It's not terrible up here in the corner there, but it's not real great either. So now we have that unit moving in and another unit there, and it just kind of all gels together there. So most likely they're not going to be able to see, I should have just shot him there. Doesn't really matter. There's no reason to actually go for a capture there at all. There's nothing to be gained by going for every single capture you can, I don't think. I'm not even sure we're going to get the capture on him, probably, because that's usually how that kind of thing goes. So now we're looking at a pretty good thing here. Like, they don't seem to be in a position to regain their morale anytime soon. We're able to, as long as we're able to keep them pushed, we should be in a pretty good spot. That guy behind there will keep them from routing that way. Those two units will be able to beat them up pretty good, keeping them in place. We don't want to fire at that supply wagon, but we need to keep the pressure on them to keep them from routing back this way too. We want them pretty well held in place at this point. We don't want... Did I just move that guy away from the corner? I shouldn't have. If I did, yeah, they should both stay right there. We need 3 units to keep them from routing that way, I think. Or 3 units will be more likely to keep them from routing that way. However you want to look at it. We moved too far forward there. I think I got shot some. It's really hard to see. The graphic quality on this replay is not real great. So they are starting to route through even with that many units there, which is crazy, because that was 3 units they just routed through. We still have a unit back up there. That's good. It's good to have backups. So we move 1 unit forward and 2 units this way, and then another 2 to surround them. We want to keep the surround on them as much as possible. Almost looked like they just got off a full volley there, which is crazy. They should not be able to volley yet. Like, I think they volleyed, though. It looked an awful lot like a volley. So we do get seen a little bit there, but once we get in the forest, we probably will get unseen, hopefully. We're just trying to pretty much stay out of sight, get as much vision as we can, and see we're still getting shot there with artillery, which obviously we don't want to get shot with artillery if we can help it. I mean, another group of units is about to route through, which is just insane, to be honest. Like, it's insane that they can still be routing through our men at this point. We should capture that supply wagon soon, though, because it's going to come up behind that guy and get captured, I think. Yep, there we go. So now we need to get him out of there, keep him from getting captured and recaptured over and over again. Probably going to shatter somebody there, right? No? Wow. So yeah, now we have to worry about the fact that now they've got a corner, and I can't get units like all the way around them fast enough. So that unit in the corner shattered, I think. And now we've got this unit. Well, that's going to be the end of this one. Tune back in for the next one. See you there. Well, I hope you guys have had as much fun as I've had. This has been a blast. I hope to see you back here for the next episode. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you later.